All right. All right, y'all. Welcome in. We're in that awkward stage where I'm trying to make sure I'm doing this right real quickly here. Everybody able to hear me just to confirm stuff started real quickly. So, okay, trying this. Didn't my mic plugged. Why we check it? All right, y'all. So this will be like part game recap, part just watch along. This is awesome. We're starting to get spoiled as a fan base. Just checking in on the instant, declaring that we're going to do an instant with 3 or 4 minutes left in the fourth or third, rather. And I think we just started the couple minutes into the fourth quarter here, if I haven't lost my place in this game. So we'll certainly talk some about tonight's game, and I'm interested and always want to answer y'all's questions if possible. I do have an eye on the A&M A&M Auburn game as well. So notification game can roll on in. We got 14 minutes left of this game. I don't know that I'll run through all 14, but we'll have a good time at celebrating what as of tonight is a successful season, y'all. And we're not gonna do backflips or anything like that over beating Syracuse, but this in all likelihood gets you to 8 games. If Bud's gonna say it's 92% likely or 94% likely or whatever it is, it's good enough for me. I'm gonna pour myself a little glass of the Ardbeg, and we'll get started here. So, unlike last week, or 2 weeks ago, where we just did an instant reaction and did not mention nary a sponsor, let me go ahead and get that done right out of the glass, right out of the gates. Yes, sir. Louisiana hot sauce, as always, instrumental in everything Florida State, everything that the Nolecast does. Certainly, this is distracting, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm easily distracted in trying to watch Florida State and do a instant reaction is a great distraction. See, we've got 18 in there and only fitting. So Louisiana hot sauce, Tarpon Sellers, fantastic title sponsors of the Nolecast. Charlie Park, truly Tallahassee's best rooftop bar. Some friends of mine are headed over there tomorrow for their grazing brunch, and I'm sure that they will give me exceptionally positive feedback as everybody else has. Actually, Matt Thompson and his son are up at this game tonight. They made their travel up to New York, up to Syracuse. And I think they're watching like 13 games of football, 13 days, 13 games of football. So awesome for them. But whether it be Charlie Park, whether it be Madison Social, whether it be Township, we are always so fortunate to be able to work with them. And as always, the team at Congruity. Matt Lewis been a fantastic asset for me in just going along with a couple of small businesses, and has been fantastic for many of our listeners. And I think next week or maybe week after, we're going to get to announce a very significant partnership that I'm really proud of that's come about as part of the Nolecast. So, y'all, it's Saturday night at 10:40. I've had a long day with wedding stuff. I just don't want to wait till 12:15 to start doing an instant reaction podcast. Florida State has done this twice now. That we're ever so fortunate to be able to sit here. Last week was 45-3. This week it is 38-3, and Florida State is a good football team that cares and has buy-in. And when you're that, and it's November, you can you can start to win some games, Matt Jones. That's a funny comment. Yeah, so this is great, man. This is all you could ask for from Mike, from a standpoint. You ask for a coach that gives you incremental success, reason for buy-in, certainly would hope that all of the aspects of support are there for Florida State, not just not just wink, wink, nod, nod recruiting stuff. You've got assistants to keep. You've got other assistants to potentially, run around with the idea of replacing, and you may have assistants that you have to replace simply because you're a good football program, and when you're a good football program, people tend to come for your coaches. So, um, just real quickly, again, we're not going to do a whole comprehensive review here, particularly with a game that's still going on. But I just love what Trey Benson is turning into, and I actually went and got that dropped off the jersey to get framed, and I'm going to give away that in some form or fashion. And Trey does a fantastic job of only making it more valuable as the week goes on. But it's I think what we're seeing here is like a running back just come of age in front of our eyes, and a lot of that is just a kid that hasn't gotten to play the position a whole lot, and we're seeing him grow up. We're seeing Vincent's got this interesting kind of way that he uh, I don't want to say turns a corner, but kind of as he makes his way through a defense. Obviously, when he puts his foot in the ground and turns on whatever top speed for him is, it's special. But you can kind of see the guy learning with the ball under his arm, and it's hard for me to articulate. And I'm not doing a perfect job of saying exactly what I'm saying, but we're seeing a running back come of age, and a guy who is healthy, believes in the knee again, and believes in front of the people in front of him, and it's turning into quite the special thing to watch. I'll tell you another thing, and this is a family-friendly podcast, so I won't use the exact words, but damn if Micah Pittman doesn't play football with a whole lot of FU in him, and that's good to see, man. It's good to see some players from Florida State have a little bit of chip. And again, when you're winning and you're a program that's slightly on the on the incline, I think it's great to see chip, and you love that as fans. And when not, you're worried that players are too worried about things outside of football, whatever. But just Pittman plays with an attitude that Florida State needs, and it translates. And it's great to see some of those wide receivers in general, what they've done. I mean, it's been incredible what Wilson and Pittman have done as far as flipping that room. But there's a little bit something extra that those guys have brought from a culture perspective as well. And Pittman has no problem just blocking somebody's ass off and letting them know about it 3 or 4 plays later as well. And that's a good thing to have. Jason Smith asked what I thought of the yummy cam bacon. Y'all, I'll be honest with you, for whatever reason, I didn't get that. And based off the response to Twitter, I'm honored that as many of y'all thought of me as you did. But when the ACC continues to dunk on itself, one can only be so surprised when they provide us satisfaction. Oh man, it's seriously one of the worst media entities ever that could ever be created and run around out there, and it's kind of hilarious that we have to wade into these waters of worse than mediocrity a couple times a year. Subsequently, I said I've kept an eye on Auburn and A&M all night, and just flipping back and forth between the ACC network and the SEC network is everything that you absolutely think it would be. So Knowles and Finn's fan asked a question: does this continue winning help with Baxter? Yeah, I mean, I'm sure it certainly helps with Baxter. I'm sure it certainly helps with everybody. But look, man, recruiting, if there is a whole lot of an in-game impact on recruiting, it's normally 2 to like 4 weeks out. So like last year when everybody was talking about holding on to all these decommitment or potential decommitments despite being 0-4, man, you really got to let that get into week 6 or 7 before you really get an idea as to what a rough stretch will do for you. Miami's seeing the same thing right now. That kid, some of these kids aren't looking around to decommit because of the Florida State game. They're looking around, consider decommitting because of stuff that's been in the back of their mind for 5 or 6 weeks now. Having said that, I don't think you'll see some major turnaround. Now, can you see or see some major surge in interest from 20 kids is what I should say rather than turnaround. Um, but are there singular issues where you could see something like that? Yeah, Benson, um, and what he's done is absolutely going to stand out to Baxter. Now that's an NIL game there, and we'll see how competitive Florida State can be in it. I think Florida State can be exceptionally competitive when it comes to NIL. I think people undersell them right now with where they are when it comes to situationally. But at the end of the day, you're gonna have to beat Texas and a couple others. And like I said a couple weeks or a couple nights ago, I think outside of just NIL, you could be benefited by maybe seeing some Texas kids that decide to stay at home and for whatever reason make that running back room a little bit more appealing to give Tallahassee consideration. So um, let me check up on my good friend John James Fisher here real quickly and see how he is doing. Aggie Land was not taken tonight very well. So if y'all got any questions in there, feel free to fire away, and I will get to them as much as possible. And as always, thank you to our sponsors who make all of this possible and who last Saturday night we just kind of ripped through and did not properly say thank you to. So, pardon as I pull up the Texas Auburn game on a very legal stream here, just so that I can have that in the corner of my eye as well. So, just sitting here chilling out. First live watch of the Nolecast. Josh Yates, I appreciate you making it in. It's not something that we do with routine, but I think I've done like 3 instant reaction after midnight, and I just don't want to don't want to do it, to be perfectly honest with you. And I kind of want to bathe in the light of being a competent and good football team again. And that's what you are when you got 7 wins um, in the middle of November and looking at certainly getting 8. And I don't think it's a stretch to say there's a better than 50-50 chance that this team wins 9 games this year. That's incredible. That will be a benchmark that will be a hell of a thing to sell both internally and externally. And I'm fascinated to see, the level of support that's out there. At this point in time, I'm not his agent or anything else, but Mike Norvell has asked you, has given you everything you could have asked for as far as a level of comfort and confidence in investing in him in the program. And you've got a lot of things out there to be real excited about. And I think in general, as we rejoin here with 10 minutes left in the fourth, and the team is doing the chop with the traveling fan base, which is this is just it's awesome. Isn't it great to not suck again, y'all? Isn't it awesome to be able to watch a game and not be worried about somebody putting the ball on the ground the last play of the game or something like that? This is just college football life done well. So great to see number 11, Sam McCall, out there on the field getting a lot of snaps tonight as well. And another sack. Brilliant. Balls on the ground. I got to be careful about doing that, actually, if we're live. So Florida State continues to play great defense. Looks like Amari Gaynor is the individual who forces a fumble, and Syracuse ultimately looks as though they're going to continue to play. Another thing that I'll just point out here, this is not a live commentary, but it was great just to see, if you're looking at things and you're looking for team culture and buy-in and collective excitement for kids who are, on the field doing the right thing. It was fun to see the sidelines response to AZ Thomas's recovery of that onside kick. AZ had a little bit of a rough moment last week, and sat there, went and got after a onside kick after Syracuse chose to open with that. And everybody from position coaches to players were really excited for 20, and the moment was not lost on them that was a nice little, learning opportunity last week that occurred, and then more importantly, a learning opportunity that was taken up on. That was absolute touchdown. No, you can't provide anything that could be seen as competition or could be seen as not as substitute for live in-game play. So that is VPuck and a couple others asked a lot of commentary. Yeah, you can't do anything that could be seen as providing instantaneous updates via a contract that was not negotiated for Ingram Smith or anybody else to carry ACC football games. So, yeah, Oscar asked, I remember Bud saying that he doesn't think the Knowles are going to make a big jump next year, but could they make it to the ACC championship game? Yeah, we could certainly make it to an ACC championship game. And with that, Auburn kicks a field goal to go up 10 points with 3 minutes left. Oh boy, that's 3 minutes left. Texas A&M all of 3 points. That's going to be an awful lot of fun. Well, yeah, Eric Babes. Well, Eric, the Manning cast is legal, bro, because it's the same entity that's broadcasting the game. They've paid for those rights. I most certainly have not. For those asking, I've got a just a little honest glass of Ardbeg, excuse me, in the glass tonight. Have not made out. Haven't found reason to buy any kind of special scotch quite yet. Hunter Steele. $100 winner on Prize Picks this weekend. That's fantastic. Congratulations to you, Hunter. And if you're the same Hunter Steele that pairs with Max, enjoy y'all's content over there and keep doing what you've been doing. So just to reset this instant game podcast, it is instant game reactions 38-3, 7.5 minutes. We're just sitting here living the life of an above average good college football team that doesn't suck and doing instant reactions while the game's going on and having all sorts of fun text messages coming to me during the game. Arbelur, I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that, Cody, but that's a good suggestion, sir. I have not tried that. I will write that down right now. With a last name like that, I imagine you know your way around a Scottish neighborhood or two. So yeah, 20 on the onside kick. I like to see that team's buy-in. Micah Pittman being a little bit of an ass. Love that too. Yep. Continued solid play from Jordan. Looked like they took the reins off him a little bit. Was running some, but man, tonight is about Trey Benson. Tonight is about Florida State establishing a real offensive identity, and man, this is a good to perhaps I don't know, very good depending on whose eyes that you look at it. But yeah, the NC State game is always going to be in the back of our mouth. I agree, or taste of our mouth, however you want to phrase that, back of our mind. But it is what it is. You lost that game. The only way you can go about is responding. And unfortunately, you didn't get comically bad DJ, who has waited until later in the year to appear, and you lost to Clemson. But look, man, you're going to be 7-3. You're going to beat Louisiana. Again, between bowl game and Florida, you got a better than 50-50 chance, in my opinion, to be a 9-win football team. Hell yeah, y'all. Hell yeah. And it's great to follow a program with excitement attached to it, the optimism. You're not just, listening things so that you can check the box off fan legitimacy or whatever else reasons we may make ourselves listen to things during a period of time that it's kind of borderline Schadenfreude. And you're right, in the chat, y'all are about 2 seconds in front of me. That is a bonkers good catch by one Mr. Kentron Portier. So just checking on a couple things here on my phone. Yeah, Jimbo looks as though it is headed in the wrong direction. That'll be an interesting situation. A whole lot of people will be understanding of certain situations, but being 3-7, as he looks like it is, I don't want to say all but certain, but certainly looks like it's headed in that direction after Auburn picks up a targeting call here. Gonna be tough times for John James out there in College Station. Can someone get Rodemaker in the weight room? Yeah, yeah. Tate looks a little bit more like a swimmer sometimes than he does a quarterback, but certainly a good athlete and a kid that you can be confident that he's in the program, going to do what you ask of him, and be a source of somewhat of a source of stability if you have to reach for him at this point. Yeah, Mr. Russo, great point there. Rodemaker has certainly come about in a matter that I just wouldn't have been able to. I had written the kid off. I certainly think all but everyone had written the kid off, and that is it's a reminder for myself and other people, Rodemaker and Fitzgerald. And I don't ever try to talk like I'm an expert at anything, but just I certainly know the mental fragility that can exist in kicking, and I, for one, thought that Fitzgerald was done, and that was that was something that a project beyond repair that you couldn't do anything about. And Rodemaker more or less cut and paste the same thought. And both of these guys have come in and given solid performances. Rodemaker's won you a game. Fitzgerald has come back to the point to where, you don't have to coach around him. And he's certainly not some kind of wild liability. And he also helps you to be a little bit, less predictable. It isn't just a known part of the equation that if it's, 4th and 11 on the 27 or something, you're going to go for it. Cute foot and bounce. No, they didn't. Okay. A couple questions about transfers, and yeah, I've been in group text messages and all sorts of things talking about potential transfers and quarterbacks and everything else. I just think y'all got to let that play out. There's a whole lot of decisions to be made and conversations to be had and everything else. I would not go grabbing at too many names out there, whether they be Altmaier or some of the other names that I've heard both asked and written about today. 4th and 16. Fritz asked if I see any similarities between Mike McDaniel's Dolphins and Mike Norvell's offense. I'll be honest with you, Fritz, if that's a better directed towards AB or Kev of X's and O's, only because those guys have a great concept of the game from a X's and O's perspective, hence the name. Also, I don't watch I don't watch pro football at all. Yes, Mr. Rick, we will be out at Tarpon Cellars at some point for a Nolecast event of some kind, and we'll be in touch. That's something that Bud and I've talked about for a while. Has been a priority for us, and not something that we've put together at this point in time. So Florida State ultimately fails to convert on a 4th and long, and the ball will go back to Syracuse here with a couple minutes left. And with that, y'all, if you got any final questions or anything like that, I can do my best to address them. But cheers, whether it be a club soda or a nice bottle of wine or whatever else it is. If you're a big fan of Florida State football, pour one out for yourself this morning, or if you're a Sunday listener, whatever it is, your happy hour. This is great, man. A lot of things could have gone wrong this year. Had a lot of people, national and otherwise, that speculated that Mike Norvell might not make his way, might not make it through this season. Might have to be somebody that is fired in season. That at this point is laughable. Mike's going to be able to hire assistant coaches with full confidence that they'll be here for at least 2 years. And when you're the assistant coach market, that's all you can ask for. Fun time, man. I'm not going to say this feels like 2010 or something like that. But this is the rebuild, and you're literally watching a program get its feet back underneath it and look competent and put itself in a place to to continue to grow and continue to be more appealing towards other pieces out there. And with as influential as the portal is in today's college football, um, I don't think it's wildly optimistic to dream significant dreams. So let's get this likes in before we sign off. All those things that I probably should have said out at the beginning. There's about a minute left in this A&M game. I'll stay with y'all through that just to make sure that we see it through, and then we'll sign off. And you guys can jump into the 247 instant reaction if you want to, and go on about your evening. So this has been a hell of a fun ride here this season, and great to see Mike Norvell in Florida State go out and reassert itself as a competent football program, and very much somebody that you need to keep your eye on in the ACC. I just got had by a instant reaction replay and thought A&M had recovered that. So North Carolina, Wake Forest, 36-34. I know this is something that Bud's been watching and texted about all day. This has been a hell of a game that I myself did not get to keep an eye on, but Auburn recovers. Certainly look like Auburn will send Jimbo Fisher and his $10 million annual salary to 3-7. So all those resources and other comments that people with grudges and other things that have to kind of chuckle at what Jimbo has seen in his time in College Station. But focus and thoughts are Florida State. This is a great window of opportunity for the program. Look forward to seeing what they do with it. But Florida State moves to 7-3. Florida State appears as a place of stability and a place where kids who didn't necessarily choose them out of high school can go put some great tape on, put some great film on tape, get coached in an adequate manner. And I'm really excited to see what Mike Norvell, his staff, everybody on down the line does with what they can with this opportunity. So Nolecast Instant Reaction Podcast, 38-3 with 2.5 minutes left. I will be signing off for now, y'all. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Thank you so much for the support that Bud and I have received over the history of this podcast. Love you much. Talk to you soon. Knowles. Fun ride.